the governor of the great state of New Jersey, Christie. Good morning, Governor Christie.
Thanks for the bell, Don.
You're quite welcome.
That's fabulous.
So how are you?
Great. I just saw your wife downstairs.
I figured that's why you were late.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, wouldn't you be?
Well,
It's
yeah.
very attractive woman.
Yeah, thank you. So that's what happens. You go to radio school. And then
Really?
you wind up with
Wow.
Yeah. So you're appearing on all of these morning shows this morning. Why?
To warm up for this.
Okay. So
Now I'm ready.
what's the message?
Oh, the message is we got a lot of work to do in New Jersey after the hurricane and try to make sure that we get our stuff together in Washington, D.C., get some aid up here to New York and New Jersey. You know, we've waited now 7 times longer than the victims of Katrina to get any help from the federal government. So, you know, it's about talking about those issues and others.
It's absolutely disgraceful the way the government has reacted to this, in my view.
I agree with you completely.
Yeah.
Agree with you completely. And I think, you know, for our folks, we've got 41,000 families, Don, who are still out of their homes. Now, this is 10 weeks after the storm.
Well, our stage manager, Nat Candido, has formed an organization called, just become an ad hoc situation called Shove It Sandy, and has been volunteering his time out on Staten Island.
Yep.
Where Deidre and Lisa and my kid went out and volunteered their time just to help those people there who are, I don't know if they are as devastated as the people along the shore, other parts of New Jersey. So.
Sure, Staten Island and other spots in New York along the water are just as devastated. In some respects, you know, there's even more problems that have dealt with fires and other things that we had some of in New Jersey, but less of than you had in New York.
Well, will the shore ever be the same?
No.
But
won't be the same. Listen, I think it's going to look differently because certain things just aren't going to be rebuilt.
Yeah.
You know, certain families aren't going to be able to afford to rebuild, and maybe they're going to rebuild differently. We're going to have different requirements, obviously, because, you know, we got to anticipate storms like this are going to come and come more frequently. So you're going to want to rebuild more smartly.
Maybe if a certain governor hadn't been so effusive in his thanks for the aid of the current president, he wouldn't have gotten reelected.
Well,
it's a little joke, Governor.
That's an outrageous comment.
Yeah, hey, you want to see a picture of a really tough guy?
Yeah, let me see. Yeah, did you see that? I'm reporting Time Magazine to the anti-Italian defamation league. I mean, look at that thing with the boss underneath it. I mean, come on.
Makes you look like Tony Soprano.
I can't wait for that to come home for my kids to see it.
Although, you don't seem to me, I don't know you that well, but well enough to like you.
You got me elected. What do you mean you don't know me that well?
We helped.
Yeah, Don,
Don,
do I need to remind people on the air what you said to me on election night?
What did I say?
You said that you dragged my fat ass across the finish line. That's what you said.
You
said that to me on election night. That's what you said.
Yeah, but that wasn't a private phone conversation.
I'm sorry.
You got yourself elected. The truth is. So.
Well, listen, I had something to do with it. I contributed.
Yes, you did. So, so they make you look like Tony Soprano.
Yeah, that's not kind.
What is that all about?
I have no idea. I guess they're trying to make some kind of point.
But you don't look like the kind of guy that made a fool around with. So.
Well, I just, I say what I think, and I defend the people that elected me, and that's my job. And if that means going after my own party sometimes, I will. If it means going after the president, I've done that before too. The fact is, I'll say what I think, and some people like it, some people don't, but that's who I am.
So back to this aid for New Jersey and also for New York, and like Bernard was severely affected in his home, Long Beach, where with the first floor there, the condo was ruined, and mold and so on. And they're just now getting some relief. People on Staten Island, and there are several people who work in this building just now getting relief.
Yep.
Where are you, and where are the people of the shore in getting the help they need?
Well, it's variable. Insurance proceeds are starting to come in, both from private insurers and from the National Flood Insurance Program. And I'm glad Congress reauthorized that last week so that the money is there for that. We're going to Belmar today. They're going to start today to rebuild the boardwalk in Belmar. So that's a good sign. They're working at Seaside Heights as well. So I hope by 4th of July, you'll see a lot of the things that used to be at the Jersey Shore rebuilt. But it won't be complete. And I think where we're going to really be hurting is some of the businesses and some of the rental stock that was there before that people would rent on a weekly basis or more to go down and have vacations at the shore. I mean, that's going to be a bit of a problem to get those things rebuilt because, it's just so many houses were destroyed. I mean, Don, we had 346,000 houses either damaged or destroyed in this storm.
What organization has performed well? FEMA, the Red Cross, who?
Well, I'd say the Salvation Army did an extraordinary job in a very unsung way in terms of providing meals.
More so than the Red Cross?
Listen, I think they really stood out. I think the Salvation Army did an outstanding job. You had Southern Baptists come from all over this country supplying hot meals to people, got in trucks, drove to New Jersey, found communities that needed help, and the Southern Baptists were extraordinary. And, of course, the American Red Cross was there, and they were providing help as well. And, you know, FEMA has an impossible job because you never can make people happy in this circumstance. I think Craig Fugate leads that organization in a very effective way. But, you know, there always are going to be problems, and that's part of our job is to stay on top of them and kick them in the rear end when they need to be kicked to make sure they keep doing their job.
I was raised a Southern Baptist, you know, so most of our life.
Well, where the heck were you then? Why didn't you come over and cook some meals?
Most of our life. Well, you don't want me cooking. Well, you know, I'd be happy.
Why not? You went through the cleanse. You'll look fabulous.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
What an idiotic idea that was. So.
Whose idea was that?
Who do you think?
I bet your wife's, right?
Yeah, see, I told her.
She just suggested it to me downstairs.
Does she? Okay.
She said, go through a 3-day cleanse. I'm like, I'd have to go through a 3-month cleanse. The 3-day cleanse.
Well, it's not to lose weight. I mean, that's not.
No, I'm just a cleanse I'm talking about, Don. A lot to cleanse, Don.
You've been asked a million times about Bruce Springsteen.
Yes.
But the other day, I was putting together a playlist of records to play at the rodeo. And I've got 140 songs on it. And most of them are up-tempo. And I've been re-listening to everything. And I listened to a live version. Now, there may be more than one. You can tell me this. Yep. Of Jersey Girl by Bruce Springsteen.
Yep.
Were you there when? Is there more than one live version?
There are more bootleg versions, but in terms of officially released, there's one officially released live version.
Do you know what? Well, that obviously was recorded in New Jersey, right?
Yeah, it was in I think in around 1984, 85.
Were you at that performance?
I'd have to go back and look at it, but I, you know, it's 132 shows, so it's fairly likely.
One of the great records I've ever heard. Make the hair on your neck stand up.
Pretty amazing.
I didn't realize because I was doing drugs and drunk all the time. And I'm not proud about that.
No, it's a fact.
During most of the 80s and so on. But I've just come to realize, this is an idiotic comment, how really great he is.
He's amazing.
Oh, man, almost as good as Elvis.
And I'll tell you something. I was at the Stones concert a few weeks ago in Newark, and Springsteen came on and did Tumbling Dice.
Stole the show.
With Jagger. It was just, but I would tell you, it was one of the few times I ever saw Bruce kind of look like he was deferring a little bit to somebody on stage.
Really?
Yeah. I really, you know, he killed it. It was great. Yeah. But you could see him kind of smiling, looking, and could not believe he was on stage with Mick Jagger and Keith Richards, you know?
You know who did a great version?
Keith Richards couldn't believe he was on stage either, apparently. But then,
you know who did a great version of Tumbling Dice? A great version was Keith Urban, a country guy.
Yes.
On Jimmy Fallon show.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great.
Yes. My kids are big Keith Urban fans.
Good luck in getting things fixed in New Jersey.
Thank you, Don.
And I plan to vote for you when you run in 2016, unless you don't run. So,
well, listen,
whatever.
If we're going to start that momentum, I got you. But we got to get 13 done first, Don. Yeah. I'm running for re-election this year.
Oh, okay, but nobody's running against you, are they?
Well, there's one person so far.
Well, I just show them this. You can take care of that. Send them a picture of Time Magazine.
You're going to be with me, though, this time at 13 again, right? You're with me.
Yes, I am.
All right, good.